from After Dark World Headquarters. The last day of the year and the last day of National Goof Off Month. A still relatively warm, cold, no, warm and cold. What am I talking about? I'm talking about faucets here. Relatively warm, dark Friday morning. Last day of the year. For Mr. and Ms. America and all ships at sea and all sods everywhere. Welcome to your favorite correspondent, KD. The name of this little time I share with you is called KD After Dark. Spread the word. I need more subscribers. Let's get right to it, shall we? I want to show you the Hall of Fame today. I've got some of my favorite lobby cards here. And one extraordinary picture. For all my movie fans, here's a lobby card from Robot Monster. If you haven't seen Robot Monster, I really don't know what to tell you other than that you need to see it, especially if you enjoy the concept of good can be bad. Remember this photograph right here? This is the original photograph that I took of that maniac Jackie B with the finger point that I showed to Jeff Clayton. He is the originator of finger pointing and world champion. He died undefeated. Jeff Clayton reigned undefeated with him while Jack was alive, and now Jack being gone, Jeff Clayton is the world champion finger pointer for life. Love this one right here. Let me land over here so you don't get the glare. Smokey and the Bandit lobby card. Sheriff Buford T. Justice attempted to chase after the bandit with the car still jacked up and threw Boy onto the hood there. I love that. So anyway, I really enjoy telling stories about nudie books and Jackie B adventures, and I thought I would expand a little bit on how special the 1970s were, especially the early 1970s. But first, I want to read a newspaper clipping of some people that I know that happened in the early 1980s. I can't give any names, so I'll just kind of read it to you. Man knocked out at Raceway. There's a name. I'm not going to use it. Saturday night, knocked a Cliffside man unconscious and left him with 9 fewer teeth. Name withheld. Reported the incident to the Cleveland County Sheriff's Department on Wednesday. A police report said that Mr. No Name's race car had quit Saturday in front of another racer's crew area. When the crew members complained, said gentleman reportedly said he would move his car as soon as a wrecker arrived. He said the last thing he heard was someone say, "We're your wrecker." That just kills me. We're your wrecker. He was then struck in the mouth and momentarily lost consciousness. And they said the last thing in the little article is, he cannot be reached for comment this morning. No arrests have been made. Holy shit. But I heard this story before I actually read the news account. But I wanted to, before I want to expand on the 1970s theme, I want to read you something from Rogue Warrior, Richard Marcinko's classic book that I really highly suggest that you get. As you know, Marcinko, this gentleman right here, formed SEAL Team 6, and he's talking to the SEAL Team members gathered for the first time. You are all talented spec warriors. You are all, as of now, gifted shooters. You all get a lot of pussy. I was interrupted by laughter. Now we're going to hit the road and make you prove those things over again. scattered applause and whistles. But before we do, there's a few things I want to tell you. First, you do not have to like anything you do. Fact is, I don't give a shit whether you like everything you do or not. All you have to do is do it. Second, you are the system, gentlemen. You. The buck stops with each one of you. I bought you your own gear, and you will take care of it. You assholes have the very best toys money can buy. If your equipment fails, it's because you fucking failed, not it. So I'll not accept any goddamn excuses. The gear didn't work, sir. I got the wrong lung, talking about breathing apparatus. Sir, I didn't bring the right weapons, sir. You are the fucking system. Failure is on your shoulders. I will accept no excuses, none. I'll continue with this. It gets a lot better than that. Now, I wanted to speak about the 1970s. It had so much stuff on, I had to write it down. How special was this? Well, you know, I talked about how much fun nudie books were and how I could go to Chesley, South Carolina and buy half a gallon of liquor when I was 16. But also, prior to that, when I was 12, 13, I could go to the little local head shop, which they'd just opened, and bought Zap Comics, Robert Crumb's Zap Comics. And I like comics anyway. As a matter of fact, the Scruggs brothers from that era, I can tell you how we collected them. Brother Scott loved Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Sergeant Fury. He liked Silver Surfer, as I did too, but once you get a little older, Silver Surfer is almost so fucking dumb you can't even deal with it even as a comic. I liked Submariner, Fantastic Four, Sergeant Rock, DC. We all read Batman and Superman. There was a comic named Metal Men that we liked a lot. And even some of the more obscure stuff like Ghost Rider. Brother Eric liked Ghost Rider a lot. He liked Iron Man. And so we would all have our comics that we would buy, and then we would share them, and so we could keep up with all the comics all the time. But Zap Comics, that was just a bonus. So that's coming along in the early 70s. TV shows. If you didn't live in that era, you just don't know. All in the Family and Sanford & Son came out about the same time. As a matter of fact, Sanford & Son came out to compete with All in the Family. Well, competition usually makes everybody better. Holy shit, those, especially the first few seasons of All in the Family, and all the seasons of Sanford & Son were great. And then, keeping up with rock and roll, which I'll get back to in a minute, I was keeping up with country because on Saturday night, at least in Cliffside, and probably all over the country, it was syndicated by then, Hee Haw was on. Hee Haw featured the best country acts in the world at that time. And not only that, you had the best house band, period, with Buck Owens and the Buckaroos, especially with Don Rich on guitar. Then you had the virtuoso of Roy Clark with all his things that he could do. And then all the funny stuff and all those sexy ladies that were on there. So you kept up with country, which we did. And then there was the movies. The Godfather came out in 72. Those Trinity movies come out in 72, which I didn't get to see them originally at the theater, but I saw them on The Late Show on CBS, which they would show them. Clint Eastwood's High Plains Drifter, which might have been going more into 73, but Dirty Harry was 71, 72, the first one. And then you go into 73, well, it's White Lightning with Burt Reynolds. Probably, I mean, after Smokey and the Bandit, especially the first Smokey and the Bandit, I put White Lightning as probably the greatest the second greatest redneck movie ever made. I mean, it's fantastic. If you have never seen White Lightning, you really need to see that. Let's see, what else did I say? Now I just wanted to get to the rock and roll right fast. I purchased this book a while back when they were speaking about what I have been speaking about, but specifically for music. And they were telling about in the appendix. Now, it's by a guy named David Hepworth. In the appendix, they're talking about the 1971 and 100 albums. I can't say that I've heard all of these, but I will mention the ones that I do know and give you my opinion. Alice Cooper, Killer. Do I have to even say anything about how good that is? Allman Brothers at Fillmore East, Gold. The First America album, really good. Badfinger's Straight Up, great record. Barbra Streisand, Stony Inn. I'll lose some of you, but I know Jeff Clayton will agree with me. That song, Stony Inn by Barbra Streisand, is a good pop song. Beach Boys, Surf's Up. I remember seeing it, but I don't know if I ever heard it. But I heard this one. Black Sabbath's Masters of Reality, or Master of Reality. Carly Simon, Anticipation. That was a cool song. Carole King, Tapestry. Great record. The First Carpenters record. Great record. Keep going. Here's one I will disagree with. Creedence Clearwater Revival's Pendulum. They released almost all their albums within a span of a couple of years. Cosmos Factory. That probably came out in 7D is the reason that wasn't included. Cosmos Factory was the record. Curtis Mayfield's Roots. I don't know whether I've heard it or not, but I love Curtis Mayfield. David Bowie's Hunky Dory. Fantastic. Dolly Parton's Coat of Many Colors. I haven't heard the album, but I love Dolly Parton, and I love that song. The Doors' L.A. Woman. Great. All right, in 1971, all this is going down. Elton John's Madman Across the Water, one of my favorite Elton John records. Face is a Not As Good As a Wink to a Blind Horse, great. Flaming Groovies, which I recently got into. Teenage Head, great song, great album. Frank Zappa and the Mothers, Fillmore East. I used to have it. I love Frank Zappa and the Mothers. I can't remember much about it, though. I'd have to give that a re-listen, but I'll take their word for it. Freddie King, Getting Ready. Love Freddie King. Funkadelic, Maggot Brain. Fantastic. Let's just stop at Maggot Brain because there's so many good ones that you just hardly can't even keep up with it. But music, it's just like Elton John said. It's just like Elton John said. Saw an interview with him one time, and he was talking about when he was first hitting big. Madman Across the Water, Tumbleweed Connection, those records came out. He said, literally, in those times, you could go to a record store every week, and there would be not a good, but a great record had come out. And I absolutely agree with that because I witnessed it with my own eyes. And sometimes records were so good, I just buy them because I liked the cover. So it's an extraordinary time, a great time to be alive, which of course now is a great time to be alive too. But we always end with Hustler because Larry Flynt was coming into his own in 1970s. Hustler's Dirtiest Jokes by Larry Flynt. Let me read you a couple, then I got to go. The Hustler Dictionary defines adolescence as the stage of life between puberty and adultery. The farmer was whitewashing the interior of his country outhouse and had the misfortune of falling through the opening. Standing knee-deep in shit, he hollered, "Fire! Fire! Fire!" at the top of his lungs. The local fire department responded to the alarm on the double. with tires squealing and sirens screaming as they skidded to a halt in front of the privy. "Where's the fire?" called the chief. "Ain't no fucking fire," replied the farmer as they hoisted him out of the two-holer. "But who in the hell would have rescued me if I'd have yelled, 'Shit! Shit! Shit!'" Time to get consequential things done. Here it is, last day of the year. I can tell you I'm starting off the year with a bang. Going into the studio with the one and only Jeff Clayton and Annie scene, which will be a blast. I'm sure Mr. Clayton will relate more information about that next week during his great Break On Through show, which I highly recommend that you watch. I need more subscribers. I'm at 77. I need more subscribers. Subscribers. Can you help me out? You ready? I'll take a sip of coffee while you get ready. I hope somebody's saying this with me. I'm gonna beat this into your head. If you don't remember anything else about After Dark, you're gonna remember my little mottos I always say at the end. Always be nice until it's time not to be nice. Always be kind to animals. Discipline equals freedom. Never complain. Never explain. You don't have unlimited time, don't you know that? Get consequential shit done. Now, today. I am going to wander the earth and get into adventures, and I want you to wander the earth and get into adventures with me. So, on the last day of 2021, I send all good vibes and best wishes to everyone, everywhere. And I will see you out there.